ads are probably the only thing that actually changes more frequently than my zip code. And if you compare Facebook ads today in 2020 to even 2019 or years before that, it is a completely different beast. And the fact of the matter is, if you don't keep up with the changes and have the newest and best strategies, your business is doomed to fail. And so if you're brand new and you're thinking about getting started with Facebook ads for your business, or you've already run Facebook ads before but you just haven't gotten the results you wanted, then stay tuned for this video, because I'm actually about to make my second bold claim. Just like this last video we did that ended up getting over 2 million views and going on to become the most watched video ever anywhere on Facebook ads, I'm gonna make the bold claim that I'm gonna take you from a beginner to an expert at Facebook ads just in this one video. But really quickly, before we get started, if you're new here, first of all, welcome to the Strongest Family on YouTube. Do me one quick favor, if you'd be so kind. Tap the little like button, because it really helps with the Facebook algorithm and showing this video to other people who need help with their Facebook ads. And if you haven't already, join the Strongest Family on YouTube by tapping subscribe, turning on the notification bells, and commenting down below Facebook ads. And if we get 1,000 comments that say Facebook ads, I'll actually drop a completely free Facebook course and I'll put it up on this video later on. And so without further ado, let's jump into my screen and let me make you a Facebook ads expert. All right, guys, welcome into my screen. So what we're looking at right here is actually the ultimate Facebook ads cheat sheet. We're gonna be going through a couple parts of this throughout the video. And if you guys want this cheat sheet for yourself, there will be a link down in the description to the Marketing Ninjas Facebook group, which is one of the largest Facebook groups in the world for Facebook ads. You can see there's over 98,470 members. So if you join this group, which it's completely free to do, you can actually join it down in the description. You'll see right here, the first or the second step is to download the Facebook ads cheat sheet, actually using one of the tips that we're gonna talk about later on called a messenger ref URL. When you click this, it actually opens in your Facebook Messenger and you can say, yes, I want the cheat sheet, and then it'll actually give you a link to download the cheat sheet just by entering the best email to actually send the cheat sheet to. And then once we actually put in our email, we can see that the Facebook ads cheat sheet comes straight to our inbox, also with a completely free training that you can watch as well if you want to, that goes a lot more in depth about all of this stuff and how to actually make money with Facebook ads, even if you don't have a product or service to sell. And so what's the first thing that we need to talk about? Well, the first thing that we're gonna talk about is the basics, right? Because if you don't understand basic vocabulary, you can't go on to make successful ads. You can't go on to use these advanced strategies and hacks that we're gonna talk about in this video. And so we're gonna take literally probably 3 minutes and go through the things that you absolutely need to know, right? So the highest level category that when you actually go to create an ad is called a campaign, right? A campaign is like the largest one. Inside of campaigns, you have what's called an ad set. An ad set is where you actually make all your targeting. You say, okay, I wanna only target women who are aged 45 years old in Boston, Massachusetts, right? That's done in the ad set. That's where most of the magic happens. And then inside of ad sets, there are ads, right? So you could have 100 ads in one ad set. You could have 100 ad sets in one campaign. And then a campaign happens at the highest level. And then there's something called CBO. Right? CBO is a new thing with Facebook that they're actually rolling out and making mandatory in the next couple of months. Now, they've actually pushed this deadline back like 2 or 3 times, but what CBO stands for and why it's important is it stands for campaign budget optimization, right? In the past, you actually set how much you want to spend per day at the ad set level, right? But now Facebook's actually using their artificial intelligence and their machine learning to set the campaign and how much you want to spend per day on your ads at the campaign level. Why this is important and why it's important to understand is when CBO is on, right? It's just a little check mark. It's very easy to do. I'll show it to you later on in this video. What happens is Facebook, using their artificial intelligence, decides how best to allocate that campaign budget, right? Your daily budget to the ad sets inside of it. So if you have 10 ad sets in one campaign, Facebook's gonna say, oh, well, that first ad set is performing great, the other 9 are terrible, so let's allocate all of the budget to that first ad set. The next thing that's important to understand is some basic vocabulary, right? Most of Facebook is literally set up if you understand these 3 basic things. A custom audience, right? A custom audience is just a collection of people that actually do one specific thing. In this particular case, a very common custom audience is website visitors, right? So all the people who visit your website, or all the people who visit a specific part of your website, like your order page, right? And so you can create custom audiences of people, and that is how you actually basically do everything on Facebook. So it's very important to understand custom audiences and what the most common ones are and how you can actually go about making them, which we'll show you later on in this video as well. The next thing to understand is a lookalike audience. Now, a lookalike audience is probably the single thing that's made Facebook and Facebook advertisers the most money, right? Because if you think about it, Facebook and Google know more about us than we basically know about ourselves. They know how often we use the app, they know what we're interested in by what Facebook pages we like, they know what type of content we read, they know everything about us, and they use that information to actually make their advertisers, thus making themselves as Facebook more and more money. And so what a lookalike audience is making a big audience very similar to a smaller one, right? One who looks alike to a smaller one. And let me give you an example. So let's say if 100 people come and visit my website, I could make a custom audience out of those 100 people. But then what happens is 100 people is not that many people, right? I could show an ad to all 100 of them in one day. That's not very useful for me because I can't scale, right? And so what a lookalike audience does is it takes that 100 people, right? That 100 people that visited your website, and it looks for commonalities between those 100 people. And then it says, okay, let's go find 2 million Facebook users that are as similar and look alike to that 100 people that visited your site, and then we're gonna allow you to actually advertise to that lookalike audience to what's called your source audience, right? So if 100 people visit your site, that is a custom audience of website visitors that becomes your source audience, and then using that source audience, you can create what's called a lookalike audience and actually advertise to a ton more people that are as similar as possible to the people who came and visited your site already. And then the last piece of Facebook advertising vocab that you need to know is called the Facebook Pixel. Now, the Facebook Pixel is just a little piece of code, right? And if you're scared of technology, don't worry. All you have to do is copy and paste it. You take this little piece of code, you put it on your website, and that allows Facebook to identify the exact people that visit your website and then allow you to do what's called retargeting, right? So if 100 people visit my website, if the Facebook Pixel is not installed, I don't know who those 100 people are, right? I could never find them again on Facebook. But if the Facebook Pixel is installed, then I can show an ad to those exact 100 people on Facebook. And why is that important? Well, retargeting is the most valuable form of advertising because these people have already shown interest, right? If they're visiting your website, they know who you are, you know they're interested, and showing them a retargeting ad reminding them to buy is always the most profitable form of advertising. Now, you guys can see that this cheat sheet is way longer with a bunch of awesome stuff that you can actually read and learn for yourself if you're interested, but instead of doing that, we're actually going to just open up my actual Facebook Ads Manager, and we're gonna show you some very important things that you need to be aware of when you're actually running your ads. Because the truth is this, I could go through a million different things teaching you about the hooks and how to write good copy and how to make solid ads, or I can give you the cheat code. The cheat code is understanding that there are products and companies and your competitors, no matter what your industry is, who are already making money on Facebook, right? Unless you have some crazy industry like underwater basket weaving or something, then you most likely have some competitor, the biggest competitor, who's already making the most money on Facebook. And let's just say, for example, that we sell like a video camera for sports. And so if you're thinking about a video camera that has to do with extreme sports, probably the first thing that comes to mind is GoPro, right? So if we go to GoPro right here, and then we actually go to pages, what we'll see is the main GoPro page, right? If we click on the main GoPro page, down here there's actually a hidden little secret that I use all the time called page transparency, right? We see it right here. If we press see more, there's even another secret that is so important. This is probably the most important thing that I could possibly teach you guys, right? And by the way, if you're liking this video so far, make sure you take 2 seconds and drop a little like and subscribe and turn on the bells. But this is what I would suggest to you right now, right? No matter what your business is, you have a competitor that's making money, right? You could go try to learn everything yourself, or you could follow this quote you've probably heard of. Good artists copy, great artists steal. If these companies and your competitors, right, multi-million, if not billion-dollar companies are already making a bunch of money on Facebook, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? You can go see, no matter what your niche is, go find who's making the most money, find their Facebook page, and do exactly what I'm showing you right now. We can actually see what ads they're running, right? It's called an ads library, and not a lot of people actually know about this. And if we can literally see what ads they're running, then we know most likely which ads are actually performing the best for them. How do we know that? Well, you can actually see right here, started running on the 2nd of March, right? So we can see launched in March 2020. Think about it for yourself. What type of ads would you want to run? You'd probably want the ads to run for the longest that are producing the most profit for you, right? And so what we want to do is we want to find the oldest ads that they actually have running that were set up, like months ago or years ago, and then we want to create similar ads. We want to see what type of ad copy they're creating, right? Shattering expectations and then some. Very short with a nice, awesome like little video. And not everybody is obviously going to have as high quality of content and videos as GoPro. That was just kind of like the first idea that popped into my head. And then what we want to do as a competitor to this company or any other is we want to see what type of ads they're running, and then we want to create similar ads to their oldest ad that has been running the longest, because there's only way that it would be running the longest is if it's actually been profitable for that entire time, assuming that their ad buyers are not just like complete idiots. But let's take another example. Let's say that you're trying to run like a business convention or like real estate. Let's look at Uncle G, right? Grant Cardone, we can see he has a page right here. We can do the exact same thing. Come down to actually page transparency right here, and I 100% guarantee that he's running ads, right? This page is currently running ads. Go to ad library. Now we can do the same thing. We can see what type of ads he's running. Is it videos? Is it images? What are the oldest ones, right? What kind of content is he doing? What type of hooks is he using, right? And so without even having to understand what a hook is or how to write copy, you can literally see what type of ads these people that are making an absolute gob of money are running. And without understanding all of like the intricacies, you can just model and create similar ads. And I would never recommend to copy, but you'd be stupid not to actually look at and emulate ultra successful people that are really masters at what they do. But when you're looking at other successful pages, you want to try to understand why, right? Why is this hooking you in? If he's selling something that has to do with passive income or growing wealth, right? Those are his target audience. That's his perfect customer. How does he hook them, right? What is the #1 passive income investment for lifelong wealth, right? In like one sentence, he's already hooked his exact audience. And this is the same thing with the ads that I run. This is the same thing with anybody who's made, millions or tens of millions of dollars with advertising on social media. And so you want to actually shift your mindset from just being an observer to being a researcher, right? You want to think about for yourself, why is this ad copy compelling to his target market? How can I make compelling ad copy to my target market? Who even is my perfect customer? What are they like, right? What keeps them up at night? And when you understand your customer avatar, right? Who your perfect customer is the best, that is when you can start to really make a significant amount of money on Facebook. But it's more than just the ads and the copy. You have to really understand your perfect customer avatar. And then you want to watch the videos of your top competitor, whoever's making the most money in your particular niche. Understand why they're saying what they're saying. Understand that there's a lot of things you can't say on Facebook, right? Facebook is notorious for shutting down people's accounts, shutting down people's ad accounts. And the only way to keep around that, right, is to keep what you say within their actual advertising compliance, right? And a really good way to understand what you can and can't say is to look at ads that have been running for a long time on Facebook, and then it's safer to assume that you could probably say similar things in your actual videos or ad copy. And I could probably make an entire video on how to actually stay in compliance with Facebook, but really what it comes down to is you want the user experience to be good on Facebook. If people are reporting your ad or it seems spammy, you're not gonna last long on Facebook. It has to be engaging, right? It has to be interesting to the people that you're serving ads to. And the reason that I'm showing you how to do it this way is because I can't make a video that's relevant to every single person. There's probably gonna be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who watch this actual video. And out of those million people who watch, there's probably hundreds of thousands of different businesses. But this strategy applies to every form of business, right? You can always look at your top competitor who's making the most money, and you can dissect their ads and you can figure out why it's working, right? And then you wanna think for yourself, what actually stops your scroll, right? Because the whole key of Facebook ads and advertising in general is to hook someone's attention in the first 3 to 7 seconds, right? That is the average attention span of a human being nowadays, which is sad, right? But it's true. And if you can hook someone's attention with your copy and the beginning section of your video, then you can actually get them to listen to the next 30 seconds. And that makes it infinitely more likely that they're gonna give you their email address or buy something from you or do whatever it ultimately is that you want them to do. All right, guys, so we're gonna jump into one of my accounts. If you don't have an account, I suggest you sign up at business.facebook.com. The professional way to to run advertisements is through what's called Business Manager. A lot of people make a mistake and they just use their personal Facebook account to actually run their ads, and this has a lot of different reasons why you shouldn't do it, but the best way to do it is to use business.facebook.com. It's completely free. You can sign up with your personal account, but inside of Business Manager, right? Once you're inside of Business Manager, you want to actually add a page, right? Your Facebook page, which is where all Facebook ads are run from. They're run from a Facebook page, and then you want to actually go into what's called Ads Manager right here, which is where you actually go ahead and create ads. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to choose what's called a marketing objective. There's a lot of different ways to advertise on Facebook, like if you just want brand awareness, if you're Coca-Cola, or if you actually want conversions and to make profit, like most of us, most of the time we're going to use what's called conversions, right? Conversions marketing objective is probably 90% of the time what I actually use, and the other 10% of the time now at this point, I use what's called reach to actually do retargeting. Because we get multiple hundreds of thousands, many hundreds of thousands of people that visit our website every single month, and so the cheapest way to retarget all of those people is using the reach objective. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to use what's called conversions. Now, for the sake of time, we're not going to talk about everything about how to set up conversion events and pixels and stuff like that, but if you do want more in-depth about those particular topics, I do recommend clicking the link down in the description, joining Marketing Ninjas, and making sure that you do download our actual cheat sheet. So what we're going to do is we're going to name our campaign. We can call this something like, lead generation for Amazon webinar, right? Or you could name it something specific about what you wanted to do. Like we talked about earlier, there's something called campaign budget optimization. We're gonna turn this on, and by default in the coming months, Facebook is gonna force everyone to use this. And so you might as well actually start to figure out how to use it for yourself, since you're gonna have to anyways pretty soon. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the daily budget to what we feel comfortable with, right? Like how I like to do CBO after a lot of different testing is I like to have one campaign with CBO on with 4 ad sets inside of it, and then 1 ad inside of each ad set, right? We're gonna talk about that in a second, but how I like to do it is I like to create a CBO with $10 a day, one with $50 a day, and one with $100 a day, because what I figured out is Facebook will actually show you to different segments of your audience based on what you actually initially set your budget to, right? And this is, very advanced stuff, guys, that usually, people pay thousands of dollars for, so hopefully you're actually enjoying it so far. And if you are, tap the like button. All right, so we're gonna actually press continue here, and then I'm gonna show you guys kind of basically how you set up an ad, right? So you choose the pixel that you have installed. There's about 1 million different pixel installation videos, so we're not gonna focus too much on that since, we could make an entire video about that. And then you wanna choose what conversion event to optimize for, right? So if you wanna make a campaign specifically to get more emails, right? Then you would optimize this for leads. So we're gonna type in lead here, and we can see that we've had 37,000 leads in the last, I think 7 days or whatever that is. But we wanna make this one optimizing for people who are going to purchase. And what this actually means is Facebook knows everything about us, right? They know if you're the type of person that's likely to go to a website and give your email. They also know if you're the type of person that's likely to go to a website and purchase, right? So by optimizing for purchases, for example, Facebook actually will show your advertisement to people who've proven through their browsing history how they actually interact with other advertisers on Facebook, right? So that's why it's so important to actually choose the conversion optimization event that's most closely associated with what you actually want out of your marketing campaigns. So the next thing that we're gonna do is actually come down to audiences, right? So if we wanna target people in the USA, we'll use the United States. If you wanna only target people in California, you would just X this out and choose California, right? This is where you can actually choose custom audiences. For example, all website visitors or people who visited just your order page, right? If you wanna actually create a new custom audience, you can just go to create new, go to custom audience, and you can see all the different types of custom audiences you can create. You can create custom audiences of people who viewed your videos. You can create custom audiences based on app activity, based on a customer list, right? Uploading emails of previous customers to find more customers who are similar. You can do what we talked about before, which is probably the most common, which is website traffic. People who visit your entire website or people who visit only specific pages like an order page, right? Why is that important? because if people visit an order page, they're obviously very interested in what you have to sell, and they're probably going to be the most profitable form of actual retargeting for your overall business. You can also do it based on your Facebook page. If people message you, if people like your stuff, if people interact, or even based off of visits or interaction with an Instagram business profile, right? So for this example, we're just gonna do United States. You can choose the age and demographics about your target audience right here. If you don't know what your target audience is, you can actually come up into the hamburger menu here and go to what's called Audience Insights. Now, Audience Insights is an awesome tool that shows you what people are interested on Facebook, right? So if we actually type into an interest here, and so before we do anything on this page, we can see that overall, all of Facebook is 56% women, 45% men, right? So good math, Facebook. You can also see what the age groups of everyone on Facebook is, but watch what happens. If we add an interest such as fishing, right? This is gonna change from 56%, now only 41%, right? Because there's actually a larger percentage of people on Facebook that are interested in fishing are men, right? 60%. You can also see that the demographics changed, right? So if we're selling a fishing product, for example, we can come in here, we can type fishing, and now we know that by far the biggest segments of people that are interested in fishing are 25 through 54, right? These three make up almost 60% of the overall audience, and 50% of them are men, right? And so what we would do is we'd come back into our ads manager here, and we would actually change this from 25 through 54, right? Because we know that that is most commonly people that are interested in fishing, for example. So we would choose only men here. We would do English if we're intending to serve our ads in English. And then we can come into detailed targeting, right? Detailed targeting is where you can enter things like fishing, right? We can see that there's 270 million people interested in fishing. If we actually target that, it changes our potential reach from all 25 through 54-year-olds who are men to only 25 through 54-year-olds who are men who have also shown interest in fishing, right? You can also see more suggestions. If you come to suggestions after you enter something, you can see there's recreational fishing, outdoor recreation, fishermen, hunting, camping, angling, fishing tackle, all these other things that you can actually test one by one to see what produces the best results. Remember, this is the most important thing I'll say in the whole video. The person who split tests the most is the person who's going to make the most money with Facebook ads, right? If you just set up one ad and that's it, you'll never make any money. I've created thousands and thousands of ads until I find the perfect combination of interests, demographics, behaviors, lookalike audiences, and everything like that. And so don't think about ads as like a one-time thing. You have to keep testing, you have to keep refining until you find that iteration and that permutation that's the most profitable overall for you. And so then the next thing we're gonna do is come down into placements, right? Facebook wants you to choose automatic placements because that means Facebook makes the most money. But what we're gonna do is we are going to actually turn off everything other than just Facebook here, and we're actually gonna turn off everything other than the Facebook news feed, right? The Facebook news feed most of the time is most profitable, but again, you wanna split test. Try automatic placements in one campaign and try just the Facebook feed in another campaign. You can do that just by duplicating the first campaign you make, which I'm gonna show you how to do in a second, and then the only thing you actually change is just the placement, or just the age demographics, or just the interests. That's how you split test. That is how you really make a big amount of money. So we're gonna scroll down, we're gonna leave all of this the same, and then we're gonna go to continue. Right? The next thing that we want to do is actually build out an ad. For this particular example, we're actually going to just use some Facebook images. So you can go to add image, and you can go to stock photos here, unless we want to use one of my real ones. And what we're going to do is type in fishing. Now, Facebook has all of these crazy amounts of ads that we can actually use in any of our ads completely for free. So I'm just gonna choose one of these images that I like, that kind of caught my eye initially. So we're gonna choose this one and go to continue, right? The next thing that we're gonna do is actually make our ad, right? And again, I would never recommend doing this from scratch. Just go out and find the top fishing company in the world, see what type of actual ads that they're making, and then create text and images and everything similar to what they're actually doing. And so we're just gonna put something super quick in here, calling all anglers, get your awesome fishing equipment here, 50% off all fishing lures and poles, right? And I don't know anything about fishing, so I don't really know what else to say, but if I was doing this for real, I would look at the best company making the most money in the fishing niche, and I would make something similar to that. And so then the last thing that we have to do is actually add a website right here. We'll just call this like www.officialkevindavid.com, which you guys should all check out. e-commerce/phishing. Now, this obviously doesn't exist because I'm making this, completely for your guys' benefit, and I don't actually sell any phishing products, but this is the final website URL that you want to drive your customers to, right? To capture their email, to buy an e-commerce product, to do whatever you actually want to advertise for, right? Whatever your goal is, and then that's pretty much it. And then once we're done, that's pretty much it. Calling all anglers, get your awesome fishing equipment here. A nice, beautiful picture of fishing, 50% off all fishing lures. You can see it previews the actual website, and then whenever they click learn more or click any of the actual button itself, it takes us to this actual website, which is where inevitably we want to send our customers, and then we actually just press confirm. That launches the ad, and we are done, right? But I did say I was gonna do one more thing. So we're gonna come into my actual ad manager for one of my 50 or 100 ad accounts that we actually have running right now, and we're gonna show you guys a couple cool things, right? Because one of the things I talked about was split testing, but if you're brand new, how do you actually split test? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of these, we're gonna click it, right? And this could be our first campaign or our millionth campaign, it doesn't matter. So we're just gonna click one of them right here, and you can see this duplicate button, right? So we're gonna duplicate this, and I'll actually do it for real for you guys, just so it makes sense. We're gonna do create new campaign, number of copies of each campaign, 1, show existing reactions, comments, and shares on new ads, right? This is cool because Facebook didn't have this originally, and we had to duplicate it ourselves, but now you can actually just pull over engagement to new ads. So if we duplicate this actual ad right here, and then we come down, let's say that we wanted to just change one specific thing, right? So we're actually gonna open this up. Let's say we wanted to just change one specific thing, like the daily budget, right? Maybe we'll change the daily budget from what it was, $2,000 a day, to $100 a day, right? Maybe we want to change one thing inside of the ad sets. Instead of targeting, only men, maybe we wanted to only target women. And so what we would do is we would come in here, we would actually change this from Canada to the USA, or we would change it from, the UK to New Zealand, or we might change it from only women 22 through 65 to only men, and then we would publish it. But guys, this is very, very important, right? When you're split testing, only change one variable, and then make sure you reflect that change in the name of your campaign, or else things get really confusing. So if I change this from women to men, right, I would come up here and I would change this from Jazz Conversion Cold Lookalike 10% events Canada, and then right here where it says women, I would actually come in here and I would change this to say men, and then I would publish it, right? Now I have one women set and I have a split test of one men set. And that is really how you actually make a significant amount of money doing Facebook ads. And so as far as next steps, guys, what I recommend you do is click the first link down in the description and watch a completely free training, because this is only scratching the surface, even though we've actually been going for like 30 minutes or even longer. But if you want to learn more and you want to actually really turn Facebook ads and your knowledge of digital marketing into a full-time business and a full-time online income, then I suggest you click the link down in the description and watch our completely free training about how you can create what's called a social media marketing agency, where you can earn a significant amount of money, sometimes even a full-time income or more from home, just leveraging what you know about Facebook ads from this video and this training. So I suggest you click the link down below, or if you want a brand new playlist of awesome videos on how to make money online, then that's coming to you live in 3, 2, 1. See you soon.